we're told it's because those pesky badgers give TB to cows, and cows really suffer, and badgers really suffer with TB, and the absolute best way to stop all that suffering is to slaughter all the badgers. Well, we know that's a lie of falsehood. Cows suffer terribly, and it's not just because of TB. About a quarter of the herd in the UK are lame at any one time. So, if all the badgers are slaughtered, those cows are not going to go back to dancing in the field. Their feet are just too sore. And even if their feet weren't so sore that they could barely walk, most of them are suffering mastitis, an infection of their udders that causes severe, excruciating pain. But if they weren't losing pus from their udders, would they then go back to dancing in the field? Well, probably not, since increasingly they're being incarcerated inside filthy, disgusting, zero-grazing sheds. They don't even get outside at all. But if they could get outside, would they go back to dancing in the field? Well, no, because they're exhausted. They've been repeatedly raped, they've been repeatedly milked, and they're absolutely exhausted to the point where they're off to slaughter at the age of 5 or 6 years old. More than that, emotionally, they're so damaged from their calves being taken from them and shot in the head that I don't suppose cows will ever feel like dancing in the field. Strangely, farmers don't want to talk about these kinds of issues. They don't want to talk about lameness and mastitis and calves being shot in the head and dairy cows ending up on the slaughter line. And so they direct our attention instead to TB and badgers. You see, badgers are not just badgers. They're scapegoats, and they're also something of a red herring. We know the government is partial to killing wildlife, right? Yeah. They want to bring back hunting in defiance of public opinion. They've spent tens of thousands of pounds recently of taxpayers' money, your money, in killing and trapping a handful of mock parakeets in London and Hertfordshire. They've killed or sanctioned the killing of tens of thousands of endangered gulls on a shooting estate to protect the pheasants. That shooting estate belongs to the Duke of Westminster, and by protect the pheasants, of course, I mean keep them alive just long enough so they can be beaten up into the sky and shot down again. They want to kill buzzards that have already allowed the destruction of nests. And perhaps more worryingly, what they want to do is change the law to take away all protection for badgers. And also, in this new law, there's a small clause that says they want to allow government agents to be able to enter private land and kill any species that it deems to be not native and invasive. And it can do that without the landowner's permission. This is the government we have. If wild animals can't be hunted, shot, or exploited for commercial gain, then they do not matter. But they do matter. They matter in their own right. They matter to me, and I know they matter to you. And that's why we're here. I'm so proud to be part of a movement that speaks up for the defenceless and the voiceless. And they do need us. But we shouldn't have to be here. If there was any kind of a democracy, this car wouldn't be going ahead. The people have already spoken out. They don't want it. We don't want it. If the government gave a damn about doing the right thing, it would listen to the independent scientists. But no, it swept all of their testimony under the rug and instead listens only to the testimony of the scientists in its own pay pocket, who, surprise, surprise, agree with the government. Badgers should be vaccinated. That would be easy enough to do. They're doing it in Wales, but it does cost more money. And of course, farmers don't want to be paying out all of that money that they get for free in subsidies. And so the Cull will go ahead this year and next year and every year the government has its way until the badger population is utterly decimated. This government is out of touch and is out of control. It doesn't care about badgers. It doesn't care about humaneness. We already heard from Ross that they're going to judge humaneness on how the badgers scream for their lives. That's what this government is. But while we focus on the badger's suffering, and we will be focusing on it, and they will be suffering, we must not forget for a moment the silent suffering of the dairy cows, in whose name this cull is being conducted. Fever and asthma squalor, the filth, the animals rotting in yards, the calves shot in the head because they're no longer worthwhile. If the price of milk is a badge Cull and cow suffering, I want none of it. For the sake of badgers, we must stop this Cull. But for the sake of cows and badgers, we must also boycott milk. I also have something of an announcement. Also, when you get home, please write to your MP and please do that. We have the opposition database that I'm going to talk about in a moment on Wednesday. If any of you can be at Westminster in the morning on Wednesday, it's your democratic right to go in there, go to Central Lobby and ask to see your MP. Please do that. You'll bump into members of Team Badger, we'll be there. Go and talk to them, tell them face to face that we don't want this Cull. And now, you'll be pleased to know I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to hand you over to the Badger Singer.